Welcome back. Hope you're having a good morning. As promised, Deven Choksey, the MD at DRChoksey Finserv, joins us on the show. Hi, Deven. Hope you're feeling good this morning. Well, we've got a lot of stocks to analyze. Let's start off with a couple of updates. We got an update coming in from Sula, which didn't look too good. And Shoppers Stop as well did deliver their numbers. Any view on either of these stocks?
Hi, Nigel. Good morning. Well, Shoppers Stop numbers are pleasantly surprising. I think the numbers and the growth that I have seen, definitely I think he's suggesting that a lot many things probably will be happening for the kind of growth that they have produced in this particular quarter. I haven't picked up with the commentary from the management yet, but I think soon it is going to be. So certainly that will be, I think, a meaningful dialogue thereafter. But on that front, I think if you are looking at, I think most of the retail should have had, I think, this particular quarter, the third quarter, as a favorable quarter. And it would be interesting to watch out for Vidanta, which is the largest one, as far as their performance is concerned going forward tomorrow. So certainly keep an eye on the largest company as far as I think their announcement of the retail business is concerned.
Okay, all right. Deven, hi, morning. What are you liking in technology? Because the market's also taking a very different approach, right? TCS was saluted because of market positioning. HCL was hit very hard yesterday, though the numbers weren't that bad. Today we have L&T Tech. What views on any of the large caps, or if you like any mid-cap play, IT?
Yes, a very good morning. Well, I think the large cap companies we have been avoiding for some time. I think because we probably always knew that these companies have a long way to go as far as the change of the business model is concerned. And as we hear, I think most of the global majors are also basically, I think, in the process of changing the business model. Most of them are expected to, I think, convert the software solution provider from that to cloud computing. And at the same time, I think the providing platform as a service going forward using the AI. So certainly, in my viewpoint, I think that's the change in the model which is being asked for from most of the global companies. So we've been avoiding the larger companies. However, our preference has remained with the companies which are only into engineering and the R&D space with the technology at the forefront. The likes of Tata Technology, the likes of LTTS, KPIT, they appear good names to us, and we have always been saying that they are expensive. Today, with the correction in the stock prices, I think they have become far less expensive. And at the same time, I think the entry point is quite near in many of these cases. So certainly, we have been picking up some of these counters in our portfolio in recent times during this particular fall.
Right, and I've got that. Deven, BSC, there's a lot of interest around this name. And you know the BSC as well as anyone, been associated there with so long. So basically, since the changes in weekly options, etc., got implemented, now what's happening is people are looking at data for the first 10 days, right? How revenues on index options are panning out. There is traction, definitely, on BSC if you look at these numbers. I think there was a call from Jefferies yesterday, and I think there's a call from Nomura this morning. Your thoughts on this one? Ended about 5.5 higher yesterday.
Hi, Prashant. Good morning. Well, we have been, I think, liking this particular company, largely also from the point of view that one of the largest, I think, the participation of corporates in the listed space is with BSC. So on one side, I think there is always a good potential to monetize the data part of it, but let this be aside for a while. The larger part of the product change game, which is now happening, is due to the changes that they have made, the tweaking that they have made in offering the products on the option sites. Now the settlement date has been shifted to Tuesday, and in the process, I think they're trying to corner some part of the volume. Though I agree that I think most of the active traders, I think, would probably use this particular opportunity to do the arbitrage between the two exchanges in the options market. But to a greater extent, I think that gives them the opportunity to trade onto BSE exchange, which up till now has been missing on this particular market depth. Generally understood that whenever you create the market depth, I think you invite a lot of traders onto the platform. And that's what BSE is doing right. And I'm happy that I think this particular process is yielding the result for them. Maybe I think the market share gain that they're talking about in the options market, I think is something which needs to sustain. Should it remain, then probably I guess that this is a long story that one can possibly hold on to. In our view, the stock in the near term may be fully priced, but I think they have opportunity that they provide as far as I think the large platforms and I think on the option side as well, along with the mutual fund where they are number one undoubtedly, I think is giving a good amount of opportunity to investors to make money, maybe in the long term, if not in the near term.
Okay, all right. Deven, I wanted to ask about Vidanta. We had some news at the bottom of the screen that now that demerger hopefully sees the light of day and it gets the approvals of all the lenders as well as creditors. What's your view on the stock? The stock had a one-way move, 250 rupees, I think, January last year. It briskly went to 450 rupees, and from there it hasn't done much. What's your view on this? That demerger will unlock some value, but for the time being, the street is considering, that things are still a little sketchy. We don't know what's going to happen with China. Would you buy the stock at current levels?
Yeah, Nigel, I think the downside risk is protected in the price. The valuation-wise, it's not expensive in my viewpoint. Maybe I think this particular company has had the tendency of consolidating everything and then subsequently, I think, through the corporate transaction and demerging it. I think they are once again doing it. But this time, probably, I think they're doing it for better and for permanence, as I see it. The demerger of respective business units, I think, which they have in the metal space, in the oil and commodity space as well, I believe that I think they're inviting, I think, good amount of new investment interest into this particular company, both the strategic financial investors as well as the minority shareholders. For all of them, I think the proposition sounds, I think, really attractive. In my viewpoint, I think if they sustain on this particular path and allow this particular activity to continue on a sustenance basis, probably I think re-rating on Vedanta should be expected post the demerger process gets completed. If we believe that somewhere in the first quarter of next financial year, one should get the news on the demerger side.
Okay. All right. Deven, interesting sort of thoughts there, and thank you for that. But